Says I'm fine, yeah, I'm fine, oh, I'm fine, yeah, I'm fine, but I'm not. I'm broken, and when it's out of control, I say it's under control, but it's not, and you know it. I don't know why it's so hard to admit it, when being honest is the only way to fix it. There's no failure, no fall, there's no sin you don't already know, so let the truth.
Life can bring many difficult situations: domestic violence, addictions, poverty, and even sexual abuse by your loved ones. Welcome, Aimee Cabo and The Cure.
Good afternoon and welcome to The Cure Radio Show. I'm your host, Aimee Cabo, with my amazing partner, Boris.
Wow, I'm still amazing. Thank you, baby.
There still is a God in our relationship and in our lives. This show is intended to expose the truth, educate, and provide comfort. God was the only cure for me, and we hope we can be there for each other. We address the joys of life and its challenges with God, our omnipotent Father, who is always looking out for us as our constant refuge. Life has trials, but with Him, above all things, who loves us dearly, there's always eternal hope and joy. That was Truth Be Told by Matthew West. He came for the sick and gave us the Holy Church, the souls lost and in need who fervently search, a higher plight than what the world can give. In His memory, body and blood, so we live. We cover the pain and struggle not to stir the waters. His grace overflows, loves His sons and daughters. To be like Jesus, the cross becomes all of our days. Strength is to pray, trusting the God who stays. Today we will be talking about overcoming challenges with Walter Dumas. Walter Dumas faced numerous challenges and obstacles growing up, which he managed to overcome through his unwavering faith, love for others, and his passion for art and poetry. Walter is the author of the book Silent Suffocation, depicting a true story. Walter, welcome to The Cure. Blessed to have you with us.
Thank you.
Walter, that Silent Suffocation, that is a very powerful title. And we all have crosses. But what was yours? What was your Silent Suffocation? How did you come up with that title?
Well, the title of the book is from what happened to me as a child. I had a horrific childhood. And most of my life, you know, when I was trying to tell my truth, I was made to be silent, told to be silent. So it suffered me. So I think that's a perfect title for the book, Silent Suffocation.
And so I guess, did you, for my childhood, for example, was abuse, but my parents are doctors, and maybe your situation was different. Maybe you grew up in poverty. And I understand where the silence comes from. I was told to be silent as well. And the parents, our parents in our families, when they're dysfunctional, they don't want us to speak, because the best medicine is light, is it not? When things come up into the open. And so can you share with us your story for the troubled youth in Olympia, the Boys Ranch?
Well, everything that happened to me started, way back then when I was a young kid. I don't remember a lot of my childhood. I know I was abused by my parents and, other people that kept us when we were little. But I think when everything started to really hit the fan for me was probably when I was 8 years old, and I got tired of getting, beaten, abused by my parents, my mother, and so my dad was not in the home. I would see him every now and then. So I ran away. I got tired of being beat on. So probably by the age of 8, I was found on a park bench. I was born and raised in Seattle, Washington. So the Seattle police found me and took me to DSHS. And that started my journey into the foster care system.
And how was the foster care system better than your abusive childhood? I mean, do you feel that it works?
Well, I can say back then, the foster care system wasn't good, but I'm treading lightly with that. But it wasn't good back then. It was just not made for, children, back then. It was not what I was thinking was going to be a place to where I was going to be loved and cared about and, taken care of. It started with receiving homes. Then I went to group homes. Then I went to, into foster care, receiving homes that keep you a few days. Group homes, they may keep you, a few months or a year. And then, foster homes can keep you longer until, in my case, until you're 19 years old. So I went through a lot of that, and I can say I went through like 65 plus homes throughout my life to the age of 19.
And why do you suppose? I mean, once you're in foster system, you're basically an orphan, and there's nothing more sad than for an orphan, and that's why I always promote fostering children or adoption, and to try to give these kids a loving home, to show them love, to show them that there's a second chance in life, that your past does not say who you are. Your past is not your future, and that you can make it better from here on. But and some kids are labeled troubled. Why do you suppose that is?
Say that one more time.
And so then the problem with the foster homes and things like that is that then the kids get grouped up into labels as troubled kids. And so that's unfortunate, because those are the kids that probably don't get a chance to go to the good homes, or that get a chance to do well with their life and put their past behind them, which we will talk about when we return at the end of this break.
Well, we'll continue talking more about overcoming challenges with Walter Dumas. Just stay with us, please. We'll be right back.
We will be right back with Aimee Cabo and The Cure. Now we will continue with Aimee Cabo and The Cure.
Welcome back, and thanks for tuning in. Remember that you can listen to us on the radio show through our app The Cure with Aimee Cabo, or look for God is the Cure. That song was Thank God I Do by Lauren Diego. Keep him close, be it rain or shine, for he is divine. Pray all outcomes turn out to his will, never mine. Always comes through God's mercy and grace, our stronghold, the Almighty, showing his face. I wouldn't make it if it wasn't for him. Oh, glorious God. He is the truth, the only way and life, all else a facade. Tough roads showed us his holy love several ways, eternally grateful, his chosen, nothing but praise. We will continue talking about overcoming challenges with Walter Dumas, author of Silent Suffocation. Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight. Walter, first of all, I want to say that there is no such thing as troubled kids. There's just kids in need of love. But tell me about your faith. How did your faith shine through all the crazy stuff and the storm and the smoke and the foster homes and your abusive past? How did you hold on to that faith?
Faith is, I just got sick and tired. I got tired of being abused. I got tired of being misled. I got tired of being trafficked as a kid. And I think when I started to have faith was when I came to the OK Boys Ranch when I was 11 years old. I'm 51 now, so that was 40 years ago, about. And to know that story, that's a nationwide story. You can find it in the Seattle Times, the newspapers, in an article, and it's called the House of Horrors, because it really was a house of horrors. Where he was abused, emotionally, physically.
Wow, so you were in that house of horrors.
For 2 years. For 2 years, I was molested in that home.
Incredible.
And, when you're 11 years old and you're only 4 feet something, and you're trying to fight against bigger kids and bigger staff, it makes your life hard. And then, when you was bad or you did something wrong, then they wanted to sing you out to single male foster, men, who preyed upon you. And it just took me a long time just to say, I could just lay down and just give up hope.
Yes.
But every time I think about this, it hurts me so bad. It makes me cry so bad.
And
because
that's how
painful.
big our God is. All shame is gone. Your past does not define you. God has loved you. And let me tell you, the more we suffer, the more we go through, the higher place in heaven God is holding for us. An exorcist said that those who are sexually abused for a long time, as I believe you were, end up being holier than what people have seen, than what people know. So, another one said, one day we will envy those who get to suffer, because we will see the reward and we will see that it's a blessing in disguise. Walter, look who you are today. You wrote a book. You're helping others. You're turning that pain into purpose.
Well,
and that.
Go ahead.
And you're embracing the good God that was with you all along, that helped you through it, because you did not give up.
Well, I went through all that in that boys' ranch. I mean, it was just really bad. And then when I was finally able to get away from there, and they put me in a permanent home with a regular foster home, which I thought was going to be normal, but I was abused in that home for a while because that's how the father was in that home. He worked at a prison in Kitsap County, and, he was just really materialistic. So from the day I got there, he was just being really forceful and abusive, and finally one day, I just got tired of it. And then I just couldn't take it no more after he abused me that time. And this, my foster mother got in between us and tried to break us up. And I took off to my friend's house. And from there, because they said I was 18 at the time, 18 and a half at the time, almost 19. I was able to get out at that time, but I had spent so much time in there. And then I just made that decision to try to find family. And I made a decision that I was going to have some type of faith to keep going. That's why when I'm out here talking to people and I'm trying to help people to keep going, I've been through it. I tried to commit suicide 15 times in my life. But God keep on snatching me back. So
I hear you. God did not let me die either. God did not let me die. And I feel you. I was in those foster homes where they applied to be foster parents just because they were predatory. They were actually pedophiles. And, you know, we have the good and the bad and everything. And sometimes we experience the bad. But we experience the bad because it's our source of strength, believe it or not. Yeah. And God will see us through it. And every time he does, and I wouldn't change my past or anything that I went through for nothing in the world, because I would not be so motivated and driven to help others. I wouldn't be trusting God and giving my entire life to him, because my faith is what got me through. My world was very dark, and I tried suicide several times too. But, you know, God changed all that. And it was faith. It was through my faith that I was able to overcome everything. And did I see miracles day after day? Did God create miracles I didn't even know about that I'm realizing now?
But we'll continue talking more about overcoming challenges with Walter Dumas. Just stay with us and you'll hear more. Thank you.
We'll be right back with Aimee Cabo and The Cure.
I will send out an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true. I will rescue you. I will never stop.
Welcome back, and thank you for tuning in. That was Rescue by Lauren Daigle. Consistent, steadfast, and loyal to him, we are blessed. Resist the flesh and sin that has had us suppressed. Christ wants us well, pulling us out of destruction. Defeat all obstruction and heed his instruction. Regardless the cross, all his precious, holy creation. One body, true God, and his word, our foundation. Made flesh, saved every soul, became our light, grit and sight, to his glorious might, a delight. We will continue talking about challenges, overcoming them with Walter Dumas. Love one another with brotherly affection. Outdo one another in showing honor. Romans 12:10. Walter, what are the positive influences in your life? Who has helped you overcome the things that you've been through?
Well, I could say two things. One, you know, of course, God's always going to be first in my life. You know, and
he places people in your path. You know this, right? Everything good comes from him.
Yeah. So he's first in my life. And then, you know, my wife, she was everything to me. You know, going through her challenges and obstacles, it just started for me to be better. And the last thing she said, she passed away December 7, 2023. And the last thing she said, she just wanted me to keep on going and get out there and put that book out there and to be successful and help others. So that's what I'm doing. And I do that by living with a daily mindset. And that mindset is to never give up, never give in, have faith, and keep moving forward.
Amen.
You know, life is going to throw you challenges. Life is going to throw you trials. Life is going to throw you obstacles. Sure, it's going to knock you down. But every time life knocked me down, I get right back up, and I keep going because I have a purpose and a direction. I know this. You know, it may not be at the timing that I want, but I know one thing: God works in His own time, and He's working in my favor. So that keeps me going. And if I can encourage anybody out there, never give up, never give in, have faith, keep moving forward.
Yeah, you know where they have that saying, when life gives you lemons make lemonade. It's
Yes.
because God makes it possible that when you receive lemons, you can make lemonade. You can sweeten it up. You can make something wonderful come out of it. You know, sometimes the crosses, they turn out to be blessings. And if for example, if this hadn't happened, this good thing hadn't transpired. For every door that closes, another better one opens. And Walter, if for anything at all, it says it in the Bible: take my cross, deny the flesh, and follow me. And the crosses that you've endured, those are crosses that you've offered them to God. And because you give the glory to Him and you help others, then those crosses become your virtues. It becomes your strength. It becomes your courage. It becomes your resolve. It becomes your faith. And it's who's turned you into a better you. The one that knows that God is the way, the only comfort, the only way that we can come through and come on the other side unscathed, as if nothing ever happened, brand new, with wings, brand new as the eagles, restoring our youth, restoring our health. Amazing grace. And what He can do, it's inexplicable. If people only give Him the chance, if they only commit, if they only surrender, which I think you have. And so Walter, and so now that we're reaching the end of the show, we know that we all go through crosses and we all go through challenges, and we're all, some more than others. But to see someone like you that has gone through so much and still keeps your head up high, even with your wife being your everything, passing away, bless her soul. I'm sure she's in heaven. Anything you'd like to say to our listeners?
I just like to tell the listeners just to keep going. You know, and just have that faith. God is there. He's always going to be by your side. If no one else is going to be there, God's going to be there. And that's what keeps me going. Because without Him, I wouldn't have made it. 51 years I've made it. And I'm surviving. I'm hanging on. And I'm trying to make better choices in my life. You know, my health, just everything. So to all the listeners, keep going. God got you at all times. Have faith. I love you. Keep going.
We love you too, Walter. And, life is a gift. Make every day count.
Yes.
Help others. Love as best you can. Do everything for the glory of God. And what we give, 10 times more, He returns. You just have to put in the effort. And it's harder, yes. It's a narrow road. That's okay. It's supposed to be. Everything that's difficult, it's always worth doing. Remember that. And so we'll finish with a prayer. Thank you, Walter, for all that you do. And God bless you.
God.
O God, our Heavenly Father, who loves mankind and are a most merciful and compassionate God, have mercy upon our children, for whom I humbly pray to you to care for and protect. O God, be their guide and guardian in all their endeavors. Lead them in the path of your truth and draw them nearer to you, so that they may lead a godly and righteous life in your love as they do your will in all things. Amen. This is Aimee Cabo. You have been listening to The Cure. Thank you to our listeners for being with us. And until next Sunday, much love. Always be good. Always give it your best. Be as kind as possible to everyone, including yourself. True and steadfast. Never lose hope.
Thank you for
but
listening
keep
to
the
The Cure
faith.
with Aimee Cabo. You can check out Aimee's latest book, God is the Cure, on Amazon, and please check our website, godisthecure.com.